Hello everybody and welcome back to artofdino.com and saveearth.us, and I found something cool today that I shared in a post, and a couple people mentioned autodidactic dove down this. I love that guy. I love Cam. I haven't actually seen this, so I'm just basing this on just kind of my own path of what I found. So he might have said something similar. He might say something different, but I'm going to blast off some theories on this thing right now because that to me looks like a StarFort that actually has a top on it. I don't think it has the middle intact as it once was, because I'm going to theorize about what that middle once was. But either way, boom, all the foundations of a StarFort, a perfect star with a circle in the middle and buildings on top with the arches, amazing columns, incredible detail. Maybe it went higher, but that looks perfect to me. But it looks like that, to me, looks like what most StarForts are, truly. And here's some Wikipedia stuff you can check out. The origin of this is unknown. In the 1500s, it basically changed hands from someone, so no one knows when it was built exactly. So that is an ancient sign that it was. And this is the area that it's in. It's actually to the bottom right, that Caprarola, and it's right near a lake, which looks to me like a crater, which looks to me like they took out a giant tree at some point and left the reservoir at the bottom, which would mean that these were some of the veins and some of the things that were sticking out, some of the roots perhaps built on this, which would have maybe helped to figure out what the ancient tech was that was in the middle of that circle. But look at that thing. That thing definitely had to do with something. It's high up on a hill. It's prominent. It can be seen everywhere around there. It is the absolute dominant thing. It has a garden in the back, which is also could be connected with water, could be connected with an ancient thing. It looks to me like almost like a pole, like the bottom of a table, like you know, the leg of a table, how it has like a stabilizer with, if you put a giant pole in the middle of that center, you know, maybe, or some kind of tech. But look at this. This clearly shows that it goes underneath that zone that we can just see today. So there was an entrance right here with a beautiful stairway, beautiful everything built into it. God knows what goes in all those different pathways as you expand and look into it underneath, because that thing looks extremely solid. Looks like it goes so far deep. And again, after seeing the pyramids and their immaculate structures that we theorize and are now kind of proving that are underneath, there's no telling what's under all of these things. Some kind of tech, some leftover tech, some massive structure that we can't even fathom the true purpose of, because we've been so ingrained in us that it's, oh, it's just a house, oh, it's just a garden, oh, it's just a little fort for war, blah, blah, blah. But look at this. This is definitely clearly built for something else. And it's just absolutely astounding. And to me, that is what I've envisioned all StarForts looking like. Places like this, you know, whether it's a place where people lived, or a place where people worked, or a place where something just like a nuclear facility, but of something so different, like geothermal heat, could be anything right here. I'm gonna have to probably take a look at this and translate that. I didn't do it today in this video, but I most likely will. I just got to find a better quality version of that picture. But, and again, that's post, that's after the reset, so there's no telling what, you know, if the truth is, or that could have been the repurposed points of it, but and the original purpose could be totally lost now. But either way, there had to have been an initial purpose of this, because it is too perfect, too amazing to even think that it was useless and not some form of tech. And again, one of my friends actually, and a lot of people are starting to see these different articles about this. There's a new invention coming out where they're trying to use building materials that have power stored in them, which is again it seems like another old world tech that is coming back to life. And look at the inner world of it. It looks just like a skeleton of something inside that circle. It looks like an old, like, antique, like replica, like, you know, a metal. That looks so much different than the other stuff. It's almost as if they're two different structures. But again, you know, what fit in there? Something clearly went in there and maybe popped out, or was used like a battery connected to it, or some kind of ancient tool. And with the thoughts of the giants, there's no telling. They had bells that were massive. They had everything that was massive. So what could have gone in there? A giant crystal, perhaps? Some kind of, maybe a tree sprouted from that, a giant tree. You know, maybe out of the roots that from that other one where that lake could have been, because it seems to me, again, as you see different videos of people tapping into these trees and then waterfall, like water coming out, these giant trees that remain, then you look back and you think about the ancient trees of the past, and how like certain giant cliffs all of a sudden have water pouring from them, which it kind of, you can assume were once a tree, and the water is pumping upwards. So this is kind of, when you see a lake around a crater, it kind of makes me think that they extracted a tree, and that's the reservoir at the bottom. But either way, look at this. Look at the form of this. That perfect road that goes right down the center. This is so ancient, I can't even fathom it. And Wikipedia doesn't even try to think about a proper explanation for this because it's too ridiculous. But there is something here. This place is amazing. Italy, just one of those places that has the art. Amazing. Almost proof that we are all artists when you see stuff like this. And these, again, these were from the beginning. There's 3 different buildings that are called the Farnese, have a similar name to this, around Rome and Italy. So I'm not exactly positive about the interior of these, but either way, these interiors all exist, and they're amazing. And again, how do you reconcile us today trying to convince people, oh, like, you know, the current trends in real estate are like gray, dull, nonsense walls that are like nothing, white, plain, boring, no decoration, no ornamentation, no art, and this is what we came from. And now people are convinced that, you know, a sterile environment is great. Meanwhile, the people of the past clearly engulfed themselves in art, in beauty. And these artworks take so long to do. To paint this would take so unbearably long. And you can't really just do it with a ton of different artists. It has to be very similar ones, or ones that were trained in a similar way. These pictures, again, all of these, to examine these and examine the meaning and examine the hidden meaning, is where the true history lies, because the artists knew. And again, you know, were they painting these, or was it some other tech? Was it some AI from the past that was doing a lot of these? Was it a combination of certain things? And who are these giant men and stuff depicted that just appear to be superhuman and of just incredible strength and stature? So many mysteries. But if you think about who could have built these things, who could have done this, it could not have been people like us. Really, especially not with the mindsets of today. And, you know, and just adding on, you know, that they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have other things. But again, at a time like this, they probably have some pretty decent distractions or different things to, you know, want to distract from the artwork. These people, even with immaculate amounts of focus, this stuff is taking years and years and years. Like, you look at the Buddhists in Tibet. It takes them so long to do a Thangka painting. These ones are amazing, if not superior to even those. And so you really have to wonder, like, what the heck? And again, this helps prove my theory. This whole video helps prove my theory that we are artists. We are all artists. We come from artists. Art is our nature. Creativity is our source of inspiration, of everything, of life. It's our lifeblood. And we need to get back to that, because that unravels the true purpose of our humanity. And so, again, you know, when the architecture and all these things are smothered in beautiful art that just makes you feel good and gives you a divine presence, we know that something magical it just led to our being here right now. We just need to continue to figure out what it is. And look at this. Wow. Something was in the middle of that. Something perfect, something immaculate. What was it? Who knows? Leave some questions and comments below. I love hearing your insight. If you send me anywhere, send some links, attach everything that you can. If you know anything about this, especially if you're from Italy, I would love to hear you. Hopefully I will make it back to the motherland one day, but until then, I'm stuck here. But bless you all. I love traveling in my mind to all these places back in time when it was in their prime and perfect. So hope you all enjoyed this as well, from artofdino.com and saveearth.us. Bless you all.